Tonight's special guest is Tom Evers-Swindell. After years of working with the Orient Express in Asia, Tom is back in New Zealand and is now a consultant with Kiwi Rail and the new Scenic train services. This is a big day out for any of us baby boomers. I loved it. Be watching tonight for a chance to win a trip for you and your partner. We welcome Tom Evers-Swindell as our special guest on The Beat Goes On. It's a big welcome to Tom Evers-Swindell. Wow, that's a well-known name, isn't it, Tom?
Thank you, Jared. Yeah, it gained its fair share of recognition in the early 2000s. My nieces, the rowing twins, did very well.
You must have given them some good advice, Tom.
I wish I could take any claim. The only claim is that I'm a twin brother of their father, so there are a few twins linked in here, but no, they were brilliant in what they set out to do.
Now, Tom, I'm not here to talk about the two wonderful rowers. We're here to talk about this fabulous trip that I took on a wonderful train, a New Zealand train for Kiwi Rail. Not many of us baby boomers are up to date with how great it is. It's fabulous, isn't it?
Yeah, we've changed a lot in the last 24 months. It's been a huge transformation of what we call long distance rail travel in New Zealand. We've gone from an old brand name known as Scenic,
yes,
that was old in name and old in product. We had some pretty old trains. They were actually 60 or 70 years old. They did a wonderful job, but they were very dated. They hadn't moved with the times. And in 2008, there was a major injection of capital from the government when they acquired Kiwi Rail. They put in nearly $40 million to
let's get these trains right. That's what they said.
Exactly, and that was they wanted to bring them up to date, and they wanted to bring them into international standards so that we could be much more available to the tourist, the international tourist, who likes trains. Tourism and trains go together, and they're a great way to show off your country and show off the best bits.
Wonderful. Now, the tourists are going to be your main customer of Auckland to Wellington, Transalpine, and of course the coastal Pacific. But New Zealanders are missing out by not going on these wonderful trains. It's fabulous. I just love the day, and can't thank you enough for such a wonderful day.
Well, thanks, Jared. Yeah, no, look, we do get a good number of Kiwis travelling with us, and we get a lot of couples. And they do it in the off season, maybe when things are a bit quieter. But they certainly are an important part of our business. New Zealand is full of nostalgia about trains. There's a passion about trains from people who have never even travelled on them.
Marcus Lush on Radio Live. He's always going on about trains.
People
do love them, don't they?
People, and we all grew up, especially our generation, grew up with trains being. They were the way we moved about. I used to go to school on a train, and people in New Zealand have very fond memories of trains. But since the 80s, the car started to dominate the way people move about, and then the cheap flights, and today we have very inexpensive bus fares between the major points. So trains fell off the radar as a way to move about, and the more convenient way of a car was dominating. So we had to reinvent ourselves.
You've got three wonderful journeys, haven't you? You've got Transalpine, that's from Christchurch to Greymouth.
And
Northern Explorer, which goes up and down between Wellington and Auckland.
Correct.
And the Coastal Pacific, which sounds just wonderful, Picton to Christchurch. Three wonderful trips that us baby boomers can have a wonderful day out. Look, it could be an anniversary, a celebration, 40 years married, or it could be a birthday. Honey, I'm going to take you on the train, pick one of those three journeys and have a wonderful time.
Absolutely. You can pick one of three, or you can do them all.
Yes.
Because being part of Kiwi Rail, we're fortunate that we also operate the inter-islander ferries between Wellington and Picton. And so you can link them all up. You can have overnight stays in Wellington. You go across on the ferry, take the train down to Christchurch, spend a little time in the Garden City. They'd love to see you. They've really struggled a bit in the last couple of years. And then take the Transalpine, which is really the jewel of the crown for us. It's the train that the world knows about,
yes, exactly.
and they come to travel on it. On a train, it's just great.
You can just relax.
You relax, you can get up, move about, go down to the cafe, have a coffee, have a beer. You've got very good toilet facilities, and the great thing we have on all of our trains now, Jared, which you would have experienced, is the outdoor viewing car.
Oh, I loved it.
So
loved it.
You can go out, you're with nature, you're at one, and great for photography. So you would have noticed it coming up through the Central Plateau, Ruapehu, Tongariro. It's just great. You're standing up there, and so these are really the features of what trains offer over a motor coach, or of course a plane. You see nothing.
A little bit of history about yourself. You are with Kiwi Rail because you've had years and years of experience overseas.
I was with the Orient Express group, which is well known to most people from the Agatha Christie film, I suppose, but the Inspector Poirot. But the Magic Orient Express now today runs from London to Venice, but they're a big group, mainly a hotel group, interestingly, but they do trains in a number of countries, and they developed a luxury train that runs from Singapore to Bangkok. It's a 3-day journey, 2 nights. It's a moving hotel, 5-star.
So with all that experience, of course, you came back to New Zealand, you thought, like all Kiwis, they finally return home. And of course, you were talking to Kiwi Rail, and they could use all that wonderful experience you had in the East with the Orient Express.
I came back after a long stint overseas, so I was gone almost 30 years, and decided that home was looking pretty good, but also felt that I still had a bit to contribute, and you sort of have that mission when you've been away.
Yes.
And right at that time, Kiwi Rail was becoming Kiwi Rail from the old toll rail, and this investment was going in around the scenic carriages, and so I got together with management and said, look, this is where I've been and what I've been doing, and they were quite keen to tap into some of that. So yeah, I've spent a very enjoyable 2 years helping them develop these new cars, get them into service, and put some ideas around them.
When a person gets off one of these journeys, what do you want them to be saying?
We want them to say that that was a very enjoyable experience, a great way to see the country, and we were completely relaxed and would do it again.
Well, that's exactly what I experienced, exactly what you outlined. That happened to me. So thank you very much, Tom. Thank you very much for providing a wonderful day. What about our audience? They'll be thinking, God, I'd love to go on that trip. I would love to go on that trip. Why don't we give to our audience, say, a double pass for one part of the journey, say from Auckland to Wellington, or Christchurch to Greymouth, or Picton to Christchurch.
Yep.
Is that a possibility? We could
Absolutely.
give away?
I think we can work into that sort of scheme. We'll give the Auckland to Wellington train is for 2 people, either direction, one way trip. The coastal one way, either Christchurch up to Picton or down, but the Transalpine will give that as a round trip, because it can be done as a day out, and a lot of people do it as a day out. So you can jump on the train in the morning and do the round trip. So
they'll need a question. So they've got to qualify. You know, it's got to be quite hard. But so we're going to ask our Beat Goes Honors to. They've got to give us the Transalpine. That's one of the trips. The names of the 3 trips you can take: the Northern Explorer and the Coastal Pacific, Picton to Christchurch. So when they send in the email to Jared at The Beat Goes On, they've got to include those 3 trips. Now, a wonderful part of the whole train journey, of course, is you can spend the night in any of these towns you like, whether it's Greymouth or it's Christchurch. And I do thank you. We had a wonderful stay at the Ridges Hotel in, now they're one of your co-partners in this, aren't they? Ridges Hotel?
Yep.
And look, wow, we couldn't have been looked after better. So I recommend it to anybody. You know, go down to Wellington, stay at Ridges. I mean, breakfast in the morning. I mean, beautiful suites and that.
Lovely. Yeah.
So do you vet all the different hotels that you recommend?
Yeah. What we've done, and again, this has been something we've developed actually over the last 6 months, is what we call our escapes. So the train is obviously a wonderful way to see things and do things, but you do get to a destination.
Yeah.
And so what we've got is we're putting our city escapes together. So you took part in our Wellington City Escape, which we partner up with Ridges. We've got escapes on our Coastal Pacific train because a lot of people want to go to Kaikoura to look at the whales. And so we have the Whale Watch as a partner, along with some very nice accommodation there. So you can spend 24 hours or as long as you want in Kaikoura, then take the next day's train on to Christchurch or back up to Picton. And we've got packages going on in Greymouth around the Transalpine. So these are being developed all the time. So you've got to keep an eye on what's going on, and our website is a way to go.
Exactly. Now that's the key. I mean, we can't talk about it all night here on the show because we've got to finish soon. But Kiwi Rail Scenic. That's .co.nz. That's where all the information is.
Absolutely, and if you just go into that website,
and the telephone numbers and everybody to ring, it's all
yeah.
there.
Well, the telephone numbers are probably not on the website directly. It's our telephone number is quite easy. It's 0800 trains.
Oh, that's a good one.
So that will get you through. But the website actually gives you all the fares, all the pricing. We have specials, and I think it's important for your audience, Jared, to know that from time to time, certainly in our what we call our shoulder seasons or our off season, when there are not so many international visitors coming into the country, we have some pretty good deals. We sometimes have buy one, two travel, or we have pay for one, half price for the second. And we have
be on the lookout for those.
Yeah, and
those
some good family fares. So
yeah.
if grandma and granddad want to take the grandkids on a school holiday trip, there you go. You can use the family fare specials and take the kids on a train. Children love trains, and they can run around. You can buy them an ice cream and all the good stuff. Plenty of sandwiches and things to eat. So it's good.
Tom,
Jared,
hey, good
lovely
to see you. And
good to,
big thanks to Kiwi Rail for that wonderful trip. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.